Because you're the boss.
You're the boss, right? Like you're used to being asked, thrown a whole bunch of softballs, and if you're not in that place, that can be difficult too.
I have a good friend who used to be an executive at Google, and we were at a party, and it was me and my wife and this lady who was one of the big wigs at YouTube. And so she sits down with us, and we're talking, and she's, asking me about, podcasting and this and that, and we're having this conversation. And I say, how does YouTube decide, like, what gets marked as bad? Or, I go, because there's a conversation between Sam Harris and Douglas Murray, two public intellectuals, that someone put on their YouTube playlist. Like, they didn't even make this conversation. They just, like, this is something that I have on my channel, on my playlist. And they got flagged for that. And they got a strike against their channel for that. And I said it to her, I go, why would that be? And she goes, because it was hate speech. And so I go, how did you just say that? I go, how did you just say it was hate speech? I go, do you know the content of the conversation? You're talking about two public intellectuals.
Right.
And you just said it was hate speech. And my wife is like squeezing my knee because she sees I'm getting red. I'm like, you just said it was hate speech. I go, do you understand what they talked about? Do you know what they talked about? Why'd you just say that? But she was just like, it's hate. What they said was hate speech. She just had this arrogance because she was in this position of power where she could say, that's hate speech, that's not hate speech.
Right.
And this was quite a while ago. This was like 2015, 16.
Oh, wow. So it's early.
Yeah, early.
Wow.
But her saying, because it was hate speech, like this look in my, that's what it is. Do you remember that commercial where it's like during the drug war, the height of the drug war propaganda, and during the
brain
height,
on drugs thing?
No. The one where there's a man and a younger man, and they're eating dinner. And he's saying, if you buy drugs, you support terrorism. And he's like eating his food at a steakhouse. He goes, what do you mean he supports terrorism? It just does. It just does. You're supporting terrorism. It's like there's this no-nonsense guy and then this young, goofy guy. Like, what are you saying? I just like to smoke pot. If you buy drugs, you support terrorism. You ever seen that commercial?
No, I don't remember
Let's play
it.
it. Play it from the beginning. Play it from the beginning, because this is...
It's a ploy.
What?
This drug money funds terror. It's a ploy.
Ploy.
A manipulation.
Ploy.
Drug money funds terror. I mean, why should I believe that?
Because it's a fact.
A fact.
F-A-C-T, fact.
So you're saying that I should believe it because it's true. That's your argument.
It is true.
Says who? Says who, motherfucker? And that's me and that lady from YouTube. Because it's hate speech. Because it is hate speech.
Because it's true.
While you're eating salad. What the
She was
fuck?
probably eating too, right?
Yeah, she was eating. Yeah, we were eating. I was so red. I was so hot. I was like, what? And this is before I was even getting censored on YouTube. This was in the early days. Like, back, no one gave a fuck about what I was doing.
Right.
And sitting there with this woman was telling this interesting conversation about the change. This was like when he was doing The Strange Death of Europe, that book, Douglas Murray's book.
Yep.
And, they were having this conversation about what happens when religious ideology starts to change the environment of these European cities. But that fucking attitude that people have, like, because it's true. Because it is true. Like, fucking says who? Like, you can't just say that.
Right.
Like, you tell me how. You tell me how you know. We're going to talk forever, motherfucker. We're going to sit here forever. I'm not going to be done with this dinner. I'm going to put my fork down. You tell me. You fucking tell me how is it funding drugs? Is it funding terrorism? How is that fucking conversation between Douglas Murray and Sam Harris? How's that hate speech?
Right, but they're used to not having to go past that first part of the conversation.
Exactly.
So
exactly,
like that's.
If my wife wasn't squeezing my knee, she was like squeezing my knee under the table. she's like, oh Jesus, I know what's happening here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, but the people, and that was another strange thing about my experience at Rolling Stone. Like I guess it was 2017, 2018 when they first started to really aggressively police the internet. I did a story about how they wiped out a bunch of accounts under the guise, this is after the Alex Jones thing, but the Facebook just sort of zapped a whole bunch of accounts, and some of them were just sort of ordinary, hardworking people who had built up these independent media channels, and the company just sent them notices: you are coordinated inauthentic activity, and your page is down. This is after they'd spent tens of thousands of dollars on Facebook ads